These are the only 5 cardio workouts you need to do to prepare for your next Hyrox event. I've done over 10 Hyrox races over the past 4 years, and truth be told, I'm not a runner. I'm someone who really struggles to get going when it comes to running, but I've started to really figure this whole Hyrox thing out. I went from doing an hour and 40 minutes Hyrox to my personal best, an hour and 13 minutes. So if your goal is to first and foremost finish a Hyrox, but ultimately get better at Hyrox as time goes on, this video is gonna map out the only 5 cardio workouts you need to be worried about. What's up guys, Josiah Novak, thetruetransformation.com. We help busy high achievers permanently transform their body and in the process, transform every part of their life. Been at this game for the better part of 15 years. I've helped well over 7,500 guys, just like you, and some really badass ladies, go from being overweight, out of shape, unhealthy, run down, depressed, and you name it, the list goes on, to thriving, fit, lean, healthy, full of energy, and feeling fulfilled in all parts of their life. So I only tell you that, not to brag, but I guess kind of brag, but to tell you that I know what I'm talking about. But we have a method, so we call it the 3M method, and it involves Hyrox. What I mean by that is people always lose weight in today's society, right? You see it all the time, people drop weight, but then they struggle to keep it off. I think one of the secrets is having new adventures to go after, setting new challenges, setting something that gets you uncomfortable every single year, having something to go after. And Hyrox is the perfect thing to make you uncomfortable. And boy, is it uncomfortable. It's probably one of the more advanced challenges, but the truth is anybody can do it. If you decide I'm gonna do it, you can do it. Even if you're overweight, out of shape, you haven't trained, you're not ready, you haven't put in the work, you can still go out and finish a Hyrox. In today's video, I'm gonna show you the 5 cardio workouts that I put our clients through to prepare them for their first Hyrox, and the stuff I do to prepare for well over 10 Hyroxes. So let's jump into cardio workout number 1. I'd be doing a huge disservice if I didn't tell you, make sure you warm up before performing any type of workout, period, especially a Hyrox workout, but I'm already warmed up. So cardio workout number 1, which is gonna be a big part of your training, is low intensity aerobic running. Now, most people get this all wrong, including myself. I spent years getting this wrong. What it really comes down to is training at a low intensity while you run, keeping your heart rate below your anaerobic threshold for an extended period of time, working your way up to doing more volume while keeping your heart rate low. This is really challenging for people when they first start, okay? Because they go out and they wanna run, they wanna feel fast, they wanna go out and finish the run really quickly. But your heart rate spikes and you're not able to train in your aerobic base, which helps improve what they call your engine. Basically, it's just your body's ability to go and do low impact activity for long periods of time. It's like your tolerance level, right? Your body's heart rate strength gets improved when you expand your aerobic base. When you're able to maintain a faster pace at a lower heart rate, think about it. You can do things like a Hyrox and perform that much better because your heart rate's not spiking, you're not dipping into all your energy reserves, you're not blasting through all your stored glycogen. Your body's able to sustain higher output for longer periods of time. So we gotta train it. That's the number one thing. So I'm gonna hop on, I'm gonna start doing my aerobic training, which for me is I try to keep my heart rate between 135 and 152 for my low intensity long distance runs, which I do about 2 or 3 of these per week, ranging anywhere from 4 miles upwards of 8 miles, getting ready for a Hyrox. Now, I'll try to get up to like 10 miles pretty soon. I'm actually gonna be doing a marathon soon. We'll talk about that in a future video. But at the end of the day, this is all about low intensity. It shouldn't feel that hard. And that's the hard part, is maintaining sanity while you're just cruising. So let's jump on. So for me guys, my low intensity pace, first things I always check for is my breathing. Can I breathe normal? Check. Can I talk relatively normal? Check. All right, cool. Obviously, I wear a heart rate monitor. Sometimes I wear the one around my chest. I always run with my watch, which does track my heart rate. So I try to be pretty accurate with this, but my pace is not crazy fast. Depending on the day, I might be running a 9.5 minute mile. Once again, I'm not a runner. So not a runner running club coming soon, by the way. Trademarked. But sometimes if the weather's cool enough and my heart rate just is doing its thing, I'm able to maintain like an 8:30 minute mile, you know, for 4 to 6 miles, nice and easy. So this is what it should look like, guys. Just working on good form, maintaining a consistent pace. Nothing crazy. Low intensity, keeping your heart rate below your anaerobic threshold. So how do you find your anaerobic threshold? Well, VO2 max test. That's the most accurate way. But you could also use a formula. Usually the best place to start is 180 minus your age. That'll kind of get you close to where your heart rate max should be during zone 2 training. So for me, if I'm doing quick math, that'd be like 139 beats per minute. It's like 140 beats per minute, basically. 141 beats per minute, which isn't completely off. Like if you're in that range, you're probably close, but pay attention to your signals, your breathing, being able to talk. So that's cardio workout number 1. Should make up about 70% of your Hyrox training. All right, cardio workout number 2. Now we're stepping up the intensity a little bit. This should probably only be done once a week or so, sometimes twice if you're like just super great at running and you have the running background, but we're gonna work on threshold repeats. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick a distance. We're gonna start small. Probably for a lot of you, it would be 200 meters, maybe 400 meters, and we're gonna repeat that distance as fast as we can at a threshold pace. A threshold pace is running slightly faster than you will in the race. So I try to maintain a 7:45 to 8-minute mile pace during as much of the race as I can. Usually I start to slow down. I'm working on it, guys. I'm not a pro Hyrox runner yet. I'll get there, but I'm just a guy who likes to improve and likes to help you do the same. So at the end of the day, you're gonna know your race pace that you're aiming for, and you're gonna run a little faster. So these repeats for me, I'm usually about a 7:15 to 7:30 minute mile. Sometimes I'll even dip below 7-minute miles. The key though is after I run that distance, I'm recovering, okay? I'm allowing my heart rate to come back down, getting ready for the next interval. For me, I usually run 400-meter repeats or even 800-meter repeats for the Hyrox. As we get closer to the event, I'll start running 1,000-meter repeats because that's the distance of each run of the Hyrox. And then I'll rest. Usually it's for about a minute to 2 minutes, sometimes longer if I need it. But I like to time my rest, push myself to get ready to go for my next threshold, all right? This builds my body's ability to increase my leg turnover, my leg speed, and my body's ability to recover, right? And get ready for the next run. So I'm gonna show you what a quick threshold run. We're just gonna do a quick 200 meters. Okay, so now we're doing a cardio workout number 3. Now, this one is for all my guys who struggle with running injuries. This is called cross-training cardio. Low intensity cardio, but done not on the runs, right? Not running. Doing something that I'm gonna recommend, which is the bike. Now, let's hop over to the bike and I'm gonna show you what I mean. Nothing fancy here in terms of bike. We're just doing a stationary bike and we're doing very low resistance. So we don't need anything crazy here in terms of resistance on our legs. We're actually trying to have pretty fast turnover. So our RPMs, okay, need to be about 80 to 100 RPMs, so repetitions per minute or rotations per minute. Same thing, okay? 80 to 100 because that mimics your leg turnover when you're running, okay? So here I'm at a 99 RPM and my heart rate's not gonna go crazy high here. I'm gonna be in the aerobic zone. This is a great way to offset some of the running. If you start to run into running injuries, then the bike is your saving grace because you can still get the work on your legs, the work in your aerobic zone without the impact that sometimes running does, okay? So I like to throw these in, and as I start training deeper and deeper and deeper into Hyrox, into marathon training or any aerobic running, I do a lot of the bike. Sometimes I'm on the bike for an hour, twice a week. This is like my morning cardio or my evening cardio. I'll put on a movie and I'll just zone out, or I'll listen to a podcast, or I'll do some work, right? I'll watch some trainings I need to learn for my team, or I'll answer emails if I can, while maintaining my RPM, right? Super low key, I'm able to talk, like it's not like I'm dying, it's just time. Gotta put in time on your legs. So this is cardio workout number 3, cross training, specifically on the bike. Save your legs, promise you, your knees, your ankles, all the things that start to bother you when you run for the first time, well, thank you. Let's go to cardio workout number 4. Cardio number 4. Now, obviously in Hyrox, you have 8 different stations. And the key that a lot of people don't realize is to actually build your aerobic base on the stations themselves, especially the more cardio focused ones like your ski erg or your rower. These exercises provide an opportunity for you to also get into that aerobic zone like we talked about first, but I'm gonna combine 2 things here with this one. So you're kind of getting a bonus cardio. So we wanna spend some time in an aerobic zone, doing our rows, doing our ski. It's hard to stay aerobic on things like burpees, lunges, farmer's carry, because you're moving really fast, your heart rate's gonna spike. We'll talk about that in a second. But we wanna spend some time doing some more lower intensity, longer duration sessions of the actual stations themselves. So you can track your heart rate. And for example, with the ski erg, you might do 2,000 meter, 3,000 meter sessions, but you're trying to keep your heart rate in that aerobic zone. So spending some time on those. Now you're probably starting to think like, wow, training for Hyrox takes a lot of time. Yeah, it kind of does. But here's what I'll tell you. Sometimes you can take away some aerobic training with like running, for example, and do a little bit of like brick work. So brick work is where you would do either a run first or run second, typically second. You would do a station like a ski or a row for, let's call it 20 minutes, aerobic focused, and then you go out for an aerobic run, okay? That's also leading to the bonus cardio that I'm gonna talk about, which is we do wanna do some intervals and some hardcore work on our stations. So burpee broad jumps, lunges, you're gonna wanna train for those things religiously, right? Usually built into a circuit where you're doing like wall balls and then lunges and then a row, and you're moving through each of those for time, right? And that's a big part of how I set up Hyrox training for myself and for my clients. But it's also important for us to get our intensity up with things like the ski. So we might do 500 meter repeats at a threshold level, faster than race pace. Something like this. So for example, if I'm trying to maintain a 150 per 500 meter pace with the ski, I might do 500 meter repeats at like a 135, a minute 35 per 500 meter pace, just to really push my threshold. This is important, training our stations both aerobically and anaerobically to make sure we're prepared for all the beauty that is Hyrox, all the struggle, which you'll never regret doing when it comes to Hyrox. Let's finish with arguably the most important one, number 5. Okay, so number 5, compromised running. The name of the game, guys, at the end of the day, you can train all the ones I just told you, all 4 of the cardio workouts that I just gave you. Perfect training program, but if you're missing this, you will struggle with Hyrox. That is learning to run under duress. So running typically at a race pace or a threshold pace followed by stations, and doing that on repeat in a workout. So for example, you'd run for 1,000 meters or maybe more to get your legs more accustomed to the actual distance that happens in Hyrox, where you have the run and then you have the rock zone where you got to run to your station. So it adds a little bit of distance. So let's call it 1,200 meters at race pace, and then getting off and doing 20 wall balls, then 20 burpee broad jumps, then hopping on the ski and doing 500 meters and then back on the run, and being able to get back to race pace as fast as you can. You got to get your body and your mind used to that, because I promise you, once you get out there, you'll have the fitness that you train for. You'll have built a much better base than what you probably had before, way better than before. But that pain of like, man, I just pushed a sled, it was heavy and I got to go run again. That's what you got to train for. And a lot of it, I promise you, is mental, but it's also physical too. We got to get our heart rate to come back down, settle in, get back to race pace. So at the end of the day, compromised running is really what separates the elite from the average, and then the average from the people who just struggle to get across that finish line. Here's what I can tell you. At the end of the day, what's most important is that you run your race, okay? I'm not here to tell you got to be a world-class Hyrox runner. It might just be something you do once. It might be something you do 100 times. But it could be something that leads to a better experience with health and fitness, another adventure to chase after, something else to set as a checkpoint, as a target to hit, maybe year after year for a period of 10 years, or maybe it's just one and done. Either way, I want you to do it right so you go out there and have the time of your life, which I do every time I step out on a Hyrox course. I'm just thankful to be alive. So once again, my name is Josiah Novak with thetruetransformation.com. Hey, if you need more help with your Hyrox training, I have a free guide that I put in the description below. Actually, a couple free guides. One is just our general 3M fitness system that will outline 3 key steps to transform not just your body, but all areas of your life. You can go check that out for free, but I also put our brand new Hyrox Mastery freebie down there too. So you can go check out all the basics you need to understand about Hyrox. You can go download it, it's absolutely free. You can check the first comment, I have it there too. Next steps is to get into our world, start getting this information, start implementing it right away. And if you haven't already, like this video, let me know if this one helped, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Life moves fast, make it count.